Good morning, everyone. I'm Vince Lancy. Today's market rundown, we will be going through the Trump versus Harris election matrix, for lack of a better word. Let's start with the markets. The dollar is down 14 at 103.73. 10-year yields are 432, up 3, almost 4. S&P 500 is unchanged bid at 57.20. The VIX is 22.05, up 8. Gold is 27.39. Up 375. Silver is 32.58, up 13. Copper is 444, up 3. Gold, silver down a little bit. WTI 72.48, up 31. Natural gas 246, unchanged bid. Bitcoin up 958, bouncing off of the sell-off yesterday, so in a range 68,750. Ethereum 24.37, up 41. Palladium 1181, up 5 and change. Platinum 993, up 10 and change. Grains are all slightly bid, I believe. Let's see. Soy 9.99, up a penny and a half. Corn 4.11, up a penny, and wheat up 2.2 cents at 5.87. There's the gold market. Okay, hopefully this is the last time we'll have to do this until 4 years from now. But we do have to do it. Election coverage and some market analysis. Try and give you a summary and an overview, and we have put together some charts that might make your viewing or math in your head a little bit easier. We did send you the bingo card yesterday from JP Morgan. That was, I think, very helpful. But this might be a good place to start going into things. All right. Starting with the homepage, there's the election night bingo card, Hartnett's crowded trades election matrix. Crowded trades are everyone's short bonds, everyone's long gold, everyone's long stock. Okay, those are the crowded trades. Discussion, just to get some things about our markets out of the way here. Gold, silver, and copper. This is according to multiple banks. Gold, silver, and copper are expected to see the greatest strength and or losses, respectively, with the Republican sweep, while for a Harris sweep, both are seen gaining slightly. Okay, so Trump wins, gold, silver, and copper. Gold will go up the most. Copper will go down the most. That's what JP Morgan says. If there's a Republican sweep, which puts silver in the middle, I would put them higher. On the other hand, with Harris sweeping, both are seen gaining slightly. Citibank expects, this is something new, Citibank expects copper and silver to rally temporarily over the coming week on the back of China easing, Fed easing, and U.S. election outcomes. They expect copper. We threw in silver there because we think we're right. Also keeping in mind, before we get into the election aspect, the backdrop, the Fed meets, right? The Fed meets this week. And China is probably holding back another stimulus bomb, for lack of a better word, for post-election. So we could have a confluence of violently unchanged events until we get some clarity. All right. News and analysis. The last 2024 election analysis you ever need. That's the long version of this. There's a lot in there. Masterclass Building Butterflies election night bingo card. And this one at the bottom here, the secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election. That's a story from Time magazine. That's their title. And that story saves the 2020 election. But in it, they admit to rigging things, to changing things. It's very long. I'm not saying you have to read all of it. But if you can scan it, you're going to find some things in there that are basically an admission of what we did. Eric Weinstein had pointed this out, and so I took a look at it. There's some pretty, trying to think of one of the egregious things, like we weren't rigging the election, we were saving the election, things like that. We were, you may frequently hear me say, it's manipulation when you do it, and when the government does it, it's managing expectations. These people, they have a messiah complex. They think that they're doing what's best for you. They think they know better than you. It's scary shit. But all right, I'm going to throw up some charts so you can see while I'm talking. They may not match, and they may be a little small, but I'll describe what they are as well. They'll be included in the post today. So today, Americans will decide the next president with Donald Trump and Kamala Harris locked in a tight race. It wasn't tight a week ago, but now it's tight. While national polling gives Harris a slight edge, momentum has shifted towards Trump in recent weeks, especially in key battleground states. Despite Harris's narrow national lead, this according to some polls, state-by-state polls, especially in the swing states, are pivotal. 538's model, Nate Silver, shows a 53 probability for a Trump victory with a Harris at 46%. The Senate is likely to swing Republican, while the House remains too close to call. So we are now in a situation where there's about a 37% chance of a Republican sweep. Okay. Tonight, states like Pennsylvania, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, and Wisconsin will be watched closely, particularly Pennsylvania, where winning or losing could determine the overall outcome. We think it probably is the most important state this year, but that remains to be seen. Polling for these states remains within the margin of error, right? So Trump's winning by 2% with a 2% margin of error, or 3% margin of error. Trump holds a slight lead in Arizona, North Carolina, and Georgia, while Harris is ahead in Wisconsin and Michigan. Polls have tightened across the board with the latest data from sources like New York, the New York Times, showing both candidates neck and neck in several key regions, highlighting the extreme closeness of the race. That's poll closing times. That is the 2020 battleground states discussed here, and who won and who was declared the winner and how many electoral votes are there. This one is the battleground states this year, okay? And the margins needed for an automatic recount. It's kind of interesting, what do you need? How close does it have to be for there to be an automatic recount? All right, one more before I continue reading. This one is the same battleground states. I'm focused on the battleground states this year, right? That's your TV watching, right? This is what happened in those battleground states in 2016. You can see all the red there because Trump won them. And 2020, you can see all the blue there because Biden won them. All right, back to my little script here. Traders are also focusing on the implications for the US dollar, with expectations that a Trump win would bolster it, while a Harris win would weaken it, benefiting commodity currencies and the euro. The election also brings a focus to the Electoral College, with each state's electors crucial for reaching the 270 vote threshold. It's not a given if you win that you're going to get the electoral votes anymore. Just, if anything, we've learned anything. When something is existentially threatened with its existence possibly being ruined, it will do whatever it has to survive. Maybe an individual won't in the group, but the group collectively will add to survive, and they will do what needs to be done collectively, both sides. All right, so 7 states are key to this election, with Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, so-called blue wall states, being particularly decisive. Trump can hold his lead in the Sun Belt, and so we have a picture of that somewhere. Oh, it's in here. Let's find that. There it is. Okay. If Trump can hold his lead in the Sun Belt and capture just one of those 3 states, so Trump right now is dominating the Sun Belt, and all he has to do is Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, get one of those 3 states, he wins. However, if he wins Pennsylvania, the other 2 states don't matter. So she has to win Pennsylvania to survive. So as the results unfold, both the markets and political landscape will be bracing for potential delays and implications for U.S. policy in 2025 and beyond. The delays are kind of significant. December 11th is a hard deadline, but we're going to have recounts here. Let me go back to that other slide deck. Hours after polls closing, a winner was projected among states with projected winners more than 24 hours after polls closing. All right, so Nevada took multiple days. Pennsylvania, multiple days. Alaska, multiple days. North Carolina, multiple days. And Georgia, which was the big one last year, last election, you know, what's that, 24? Like almost 13 days. There's other graphs to that effect. All right. Market reactions. The market reactions hinge on four key election outcomes, right? So you've got Trump winning and not getting everything. You've got Trump winning and Republican sweep of everything. Harris winning, not getting everything. Harris winning, Republican, Democrat sweep of everything. Harkening back to HeartNet, right? HeartNet. If there's gridlock, if there's no sweep by either party, then we're on the same path to fiscal Armageddon, slow death. If Trump wins, the market is going to perceive that as an increase in spending. And if Harris gets a sweep, it's going to be perceived as an increase in spending. Now, I know Trump is spending to add growth. So he's going to add money to the deficit. Ostensibly, that money is going towards fixing the economy, right? So he's going to lower taxes, raise tariffs, which are a hidden tax, and he's going to take the money and gear it towards helping business. Whereas Harris, again, market perceives Harris as if she were to get a sweep, she's going to tax more, okay, tariff less, and the money that she gets will be used for, you would think, building back better, which is, I think, their mantra, right? But it's also going to go towards equity towards wealth redistribution or equity. So she's going to help those most in need according to their criteria, depending on how you look at it. All right, the dollar outlook. The Republican suite is most bullish for the dollar, driven by loose fiscal and tight monetary policies. Okay, so the dollar is going to remain stronger than under Harris because Trump will have pushback from Powell. All right. A Democrat sweep would probably weaken the dollar, boosting emerging market FX and the yuan as tariff concerns ease. So it's about tariffs. Tariffs, yes, tariffs, no. All right. For commodities, a Republican sweep is expected to support gold prices and put pressure on copper, with ING noting potential short-term gains in oil due to tax cuts. However, U.S. energy independence goals and OPEC plus pressure could keep oil prices lower longer term, right? In the event of a Trump win but a split Congress, easing Middle East tensions and potential resolutions in Russia-Ukraine would apply further downward pressure on oil prices through 2025. Under a Harris presidency, oil could see moderate near-term softness with extended lower prices long-term due to lower growth expectations. I'm just bullish oil no matter who wins. I don't agree with those analyses, but that's the analysis that I've read. Equity markets is not the equity market analysis. It's not about Trump versus Harris. It's about which sectors, right? So Trump's a spender as well, right? So it's not going to be fiscal conservatism under him. It's going to be crypto stocks, traditional energy, and Harris would be more about green energy and solar stocks. I think probably most important would be the Treasury market. In a Trump-led presidency, Treasury yields are expected to rise because he's going to spend more, right? Steepening the yield curve, so that's a bear steepening, especially in a Republican-controlled Congress. ING Bank sees the 10-year yield possibly reaching 5%, fueled by fiscal expansion and increasing bond issuance. A Trump win with a split Congress could see bonds pressured by inflation risk. All right, so what does all this mean? A couple more slides. Winning combinations of battleground states for Harris. What she has to win to win. What he has to win to win. Hard to see, but it's all there. These are the bellwether counties to monitor in swing states for clues as to how each candidate should be performing. So you have counties in Georgia, North Carolina, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Bucks County. My family's in Bucks County, Cumberland, Northampton, Wisconsin, Arizona, and Nevada. Very interesting. In fact, I think Trump already had a problem with something being done there. All right, so here's Nate Silver's 538 electoral votes. We referred to that map earlier, but that'll be included as well. And here's JP Morgan's 1 month tactical view of what the markets will do given a win. So this is small, but it's probably pretty important if you're looking for a reference point. So if Harris wins with a divided Congress, gold is up 50 basis points and silver and copper is up 50 basis points. If Trump wins with a divided Congress, gold is up 1% and copper is down 50 basis points. I find it hard to believe, but that's their math. If Harris sweeps, the dollar's a little weaker, gold's a little higher, and copper's a little higher. And if Trump sweeps, gold's up 1.5% and copper's down a full percent. So I guess we're hoping for a Trump sweep if we're long gold and short copper. What does that make us for silver? Well, if gold's going to go up, silver's going to go up after an election. That's just going to happen. Trump versus Harris, there's the polls. Notice how Trump was pulling away and now it got narrow all of a sudden. The paranoid person in me can't help but think that when it starts to be a blowout and if my side is losing, I don't want to demoralize my voters with this bad news. So I will bet to make the betting close. The polls have to be close or you're not going to get your people out. So it feels like a blowout right now. Really small, hard to see, but these are the main points, right? So on the economy, Harris versus Trump. On taxes, on tariffs, on immigration, on energy, okay, and on geopolitics. Very important grid there if you're trying to think about things. If you're trying to make a decision now, forget about it. All right. Key issues and how they come down on them. So taxes, Trump is less taxes, Harris is more tariffs, Trump is more tariffs, Harris is less. Trade, which comes under tariffs, defense spending, energy, green versus not green. Healthcare. Healthcare is interesting because the Democrats aim to preserve and build on the Affordable Care Act, the Obamacare Act, and the potential Republican stance would be to undo or weaken the Affordable Care Act. Regulation, more regulation versus less regulation. Immigration, well, less immigration versus more immigration. I don't care what Kamala Harris says. It doesn't really matter until after the election. That's what really matters. All right. So those are the slides. You have those. Those are slides again. And remember, this week we've got the Fed decision day, the day after the market, the day after the election. And you have China as a potential other wild card moving into the market. So let's go back and take a look at the charts for a second. As to, if you're interested in my opinion, I don't have an opinion on gold tonight. Okay. I think it wants to go up and it will go up over the next 4 years, continuing the trend that it's been on. But I think tonight is completely a crapshoot. Within the crapshoot, though, I play. So I'm bullish today, I'm bullish-er tonight, and I'm bearish tomorrow, right? Up as some people throw money and say, oh, last minute bets, place your bets, the wheel's spinning, right? And then tonight, Asia, as the news comes out that Trump's winning, Asia will be bullish, right? And not because they love Trump, because that's a slowdown for their economy, right? Watch Chinese stocks tonight. If Trump is winning, Chinese stocks will start to drop a little bit. And then as we come to U.S. hours, all hands on deck because we cannot let the market show unrest in America. This is about projecting image And we may not look at gold like we used to, but they do. And if gold's up $200 on a Trump victory, well, that's a sign of on a sign on a Trump close victory, on a contentious victory, then that's a sign that America does not have its shit together. All right. You may remember, well, we'll do that in a second. All right, so here's the hourly in gold. All right, doesn't look very good. Okay, but these things don't matter because we're in an election. I'm not. You want to be technical, but you don't want to swear by a chart. You care about numbers, not formations right now. That's how I look at it. All right. So here's the 4-hour for gold. Let's work through them on the 4-hour. It's more helpful, I think. All right. Silver. They're selling silver to buy gold. Silver's a little bit strong today. Copper looking like it might be breaking out. So if copper breaks out, silver should follow. So that will be China. Oil cratered and then rallied on the fact that OPEC said, hey, we're not going to increase production. Natural gas, not going to look at that right now. Bitcoin now in a higher range, 68 to 73, call it that. Okay, and I think this is near the all-time high. And palladium, I'm bringing this up because, well, palladium, soared right after Putin made his comment about we're going to include silver and platinum and palladium, and then came off. Who knows why? But that's basically it. All right, so I'm Vince. Have a great day.